Welcome back. Newly released body cam video shows the moment Florida deputies found a missing Gastonia teen. Authorities say the young girl was in the car with a 37-year-old man.
The sheriff's office believes the teen first met McGrath online before leaving the area with him. Joining us again this morning, our chief legal analyst, Khalif Rhodes. Khalif, let's start at the beginning. Authorities say this didn't quite meet the criteria for a kidnapping. How do they define that then?
Well, it depends on the state. And so in North Carolina, it's a couple of things. Any person who shall unlawfully confine, restrain, or remove one person from a place that's another person of 16 years of older without the consent of such person. And so they list a number of things: holding the such person for ransom or hostage, facilitating the commission of a felony, doing dangerous or serious bodily harm or terrorizing the person so to confine them, holding such other person in involuntary servitude, trafficking another person with intent that the other person be held in involuntary servitude, and then a number of sexual exploitation type of charges. So obviously during this course of the investigation, at least in Florida, because that's where they were at, they don't believe that any of those elements to that charge are there, but he still would have to come back to North Carolina because this is where the beginning of this case started. And so if North Carolina finds through their investigation that any one of those other elements have been met, then I believe that would probably be the appropriate charge. They charged him with interfering with a child custody. And so what I recognize now is there had to be a custody order in place, because looking at the definition for that, you've taken this person, and it's a felony there in Florida, and removed them recklessly or enticed them to be removed from a known custodial order. So they have recognized, at least in the infancy of this investigation, that this 37-year-old took this 16-year-old child from a custody order that was valid.
And you have lots of different states involved here. So you have North Carolina, where this teen was from. You have Florida, where they were found. But then it is believed that they were in other neighboring states, right? So could this man be facing charges in all these different states that they maybe stayed at?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. I mean, again, if it goes to the kidnapping portion, then yes. I mean, any state that he trafficked or took a person from with the intention of holding them against their will, and specifically if it was any type of sex trafficking, then clearly that would be a violation for any state that he took her in. But I mean, right now, if they're looking at the apps, I mean, and that's how you get the depth of these type of cases. You're looking at how they communicated first, and if there was communication on his device, on her device, about what they were doing in those locations, then I would suspect that there were going to be other charges. I mean, but looking at the video and listening to the communication that happened during the video, there were a number of irregularities, even right there on the road. I mean, first of all, he said he was his cousin. Then he said it was just a friend. Then this is the part that's troubling to me. Then he said, I thought she was 19. And so you're telling me at the very minimum that there's an issue with age when you're bringing up age unsolicited.
Okay, you're talking about that conversation back and forth that was all caught on camera. The teen gave multiple false statements, names, birth dates, all that kind of thing. The suspect also did the same with his changing story. When you give multiple false statements, does that escalate possible charges?
I mean, it's obviously giving a false statement to a law enforcement officer. It's resist, obstruct, and delay. Could be a North Carolina specific charge if this happened here. Obviously, this was Florida, but I'm giving that example. If you're giving them false names, that would be resist, obstruct, and delay in our state because you're obstructing their investigation. But what I can tell you, it gives insight into at least the mindset of the individual and to the young lady that was there with him. I mean, because multiple times she gave them multiple names, but you don't know why she did that. Did he say, hey, give them a false name? Or was this something where she was complicit in this communication? If I'm defending him, that's what I'm saying. Hey, I didn't take her. I didn't kidnap her. She came on her own. And that's why I'm thinking it falls underneath what they've charged him with, this interfering with child custody, as opposed to kidnapping, where she would have been like, hey, he took me. My name is X, Y, and Z, and I've been missing from Gastonia for the last month and a half. That's what you would want to see if it was going to fall under the kidnapping. But that's not going to happen every time. This person is being groomed. Children are susceptible to that way more than adults. And so if you have an adult telling you what to say, and that's what prosecutors are going to try to figure out to get to the bottom of.
And we still have a lot to kind of figure out. All these details are very important. But since that young girl did give a false birthday to the officers, trying to change her age. She just did it in the wrong direction, not making herself older, unfortunately, making herself younger. Could she face anything in this case, or is it kind of you are still a victim in this scenario, even if you lied on purpose?
Most of the time it's going to be victim-centered enforcement when they're saying, look, you're still a minor, you're still a child, we're trying to figure out, well, what happened? And they're going to give her the benefit of the doubt as opposed to if she was an adult and was giving a fictitious name and fictitious birthday, then clearly an instant charge would have come. But I think first you're just trying to figure out, is this child okay? And then as you work backwards and you see what communication, our technology will tell a lot. Looking at her phone, looking at the devices, seeing how they communicated and what she knew and what he knew, I think we'll see more charges later.
All right, definitely not the end of this case for sure. Khalif, thanks so much.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.